Karen, I think we finally made it.
I'm excited.
Well, I mean, when you have a celebrity with the cred that our next guest has, that's when you finally made it.
I know. This is so
Right.
awesome.
So you've seen her on the smash hit show Ghost Adventures, which is Travel Channel and Discovery Plus's #1 paranormal show.
Hmm.
And if that wasn't enough, you've also seen her on any of a dozen other shows from MasterChef to Wipeout to America's Got Talent, a bunch of podcasts, radio, and video shows. She's worked with legends like Emma Stone, John Voight, Josh Duhamel, Chevy Chase, Gregory Hines, and she's conducted seances on radio, film, and TV. And that's not even coming close to any of it. Did I mention we finally made it?
I know. I feel like, this is charity for her. So
It
what's she
is.
doing talking to us? But I'm
And
happy.
we will gladly accept it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
My name is Will.
And I'm Karen.
And unlike Mulder and Scully,
we both want to believe.
so we've embarked on a journey of discovery.
We've talked to people deeply entrenched in the spiritual and metaphysical world.
We've thrown ourselves into weird and wonderful experiences. I even joined a coven of witches.
And wait, you joined a coven?
Yep, all in the interest of finding something
Anything.
that will prove that there's something beyond this physical,
three-dimensional world we all live in.
This is the Skeptic Metaphysicians.
Welcome to the Skeptic Metaphysicians. I'm Will.
And I'm Karen.
And we are the hosts for this particular journey of discovery. We are excited, if you couldn't tell by now, because we get to talk to psychic medium and good witch of Hollywood. Aside from all the other stuff I mentioned, she's also an international best-selling author. She's worked with massive influencers, YouTubers, crossover talents like Lily Singh, Good Mythical Morning, and Awesomeness TV. And she's been featured on the #1 paranormal show on YouTube, TFIL with Elton Casti. Now, she's graced numerous magazine covers. She's contributed to over 20 books. She has a popular weekly podcast called The Witching Hour. And if that wasn't busy enough, she's also just launched her second weekly podcast, Patti Negri's Haunted Journal. And, yes, there's an and, she's also a partner and vice president of Paraflix.com streaming service. And she's a partner and educator at University Magicus, an online spirituality school. I think that at least I scratched the surface, but let's welcome to the show, Patti. Thank you so much for coming on.
You are so welcome. You guys are so cute. Thank you for having me on. You said my name perfectly, Negri, Patti Negri, because I always go, it rhymes with nothing. My entire life, decades going, Negri rhymes with nothing. And it's a weird name that people get, how do I say that name right? I used to was able to say Begley, rhymes with Ed Begley, who's an actor and an activist, but people don't know who he is anymore. So that means nothing. I certainly do. He's still
who doesn't
doing
know
what
who Ed
he's doing.
Begley is? He's a big name. I'm surprised we didn't put his name on the creds.
Those darn kids, I guess, because it sounds
Yeah.
like that. But no, so you said it right.
Well, you're going to be a lot of fun to talk to. I can already tell you are our type of people. This is going to be so much fun. So I'm a little overwhelmed because I don't know where to start. Right. One of the things that I do when I bring a guest on is I do a little bit of research on them. And I found that there is just so much about you that I think we need at least 4 shows so you can come close to covering it. But one thing that strikes my curiosity, because on your website, you really talk about the fact that you conduct seances. And that's not something that we've talked to on the show before, because when you think about seances, you think about that Madame Xanadu where the table's moving and you got the crystal ball in the center and people holding hands and there's someone in the other room kind of making
something on the
noises and
table
stuff,
underneath.
Right? So what does a typical seance with Patti Negri look like?
It could look like a lot of different things. I've literally been doing them since I was 7 or 8. If you read my bio on that, I've always been able to talk to the other side, and I've always been obsessed with the dead, and never in a dark or morbid way. It's like most people are nice, most ghosts are nice. So I literally went in my little suburban hallway, closed all the doors, realized I didn't know dead people. I came up with a way because the way I see energy. That's part. I lift the veil and close the veil. So I'm Marilyn Monroe and John, whoever I knew at age 7 or 8, filled with orbs and lights, and I went running out and jumping up and down at the same time, going, "This is real." So I've spent my entire life studying science, occult science, religion, philosophy, metaphysics, and all sorts, and take it down to the energy that I do see, and it's pretty great. So my style of seance, I work is a little bit of the old-fashioned spiritualist turn of the last story. Yeah, give me a nice table and give me a crystal ball. Great. I don't have anybody in the other room going, woo! Yeah, not even on TV. But there's this gentle way to it. It's funny because my real seances, we're going to talk to your deceased loved ones. We're going to call in grandma and uncle and a kid that died when you were in school, and they're so happy to come. And the way I lift the veil, that everybody, whether it's around, 13 people around on my dining room table, or it's a hall with 600 people in a mediumship gallery, everybody gets more psychic then. Everybody, wow, I could kind of see my dad. I can kind of feel it, because it's like peeking in, and that's just something I was innately born with. It's interesting because, again, they are these sweet, empowering things. If you see me doing it on television, not necessarily so, because TV doesn't want to talk to grandma. They want to talk to the serial killer and the sane asylum who's hurt 14 people, and they get to channel that person.
Oh
It's
boy.
different
Right.
than like grandma loves you. So
As
they
a
can go
as
any which way.
as a
I
ref
work elementally, so I don't try to offend anybody religion-wise or philosophy-wise in how I open and how I close.
as a reformed TV news producer, I understand if it bleeds, it leads. So I get why people would want to talk to serial killers and all that kind of stuff. But so you've actually performed seances on television, on in radio shows. You've actually worked. I mean, you are known as the Good Witch of Hollywood, right? So you work with big names to do things. And I know that we all live in an NDA world, so we can't talk specifics about stuff, which I get. But when celebrities come to you, the most part, because you are a psychic medium and you're a
Mhm,
good witch, and you
mhm.
offer spell castings as well as seances and all that kind of stuff. What's the most things that when celebrities come to you, they ask for?
And it doesn't have to be a celebrity. It could be the secretary next door. First, always is love. Uh, it just love. Relationships are important to us humans, whether they're wanting a relationship or they're wanting to better their relationship or whatever their long lost love. A relationship and love is almost always first. Then it's going into career and family second. And then it's going into health and all that stuff like that third. And it's across the board. I don't care if you're A-list, Academy Award winning, whoever, or again, the person who just got off the bus trying to make it for themselves. That's the human thing. We want to look at stuff. And again, the spell working I do, the good witch, I don't like white witch versus black witch, because this too many connotations. I
Mhm.
work good. I'm not going to do anything that's negative or hurt anybody else. But what I see, and since I was a kid, is that we give away our power way too much. It's like, and if a spell working is a way to do that, it's not hard to have money. It's not hard to find love. I literally, in my even my spell working, take the mystery out. It's mind, body, spirit, that philosophical idea that 20,000 books are written about, from psychology to self-help to spirituality and in witchcraft and spell casting, be creation working dispatch. You have to create what you want, need. You have to know you believe you deserve it, believe you can have it. Then you're going to do the working. Then you're going to, whether you're grinding a candle or a mortar and pestle, or you're tying knots together and chanting over a fire, or writing out a sigil, creating a thing. And then the spirit is the magic that makes it happen. So again, whether you can go sit in your psychologist's office and talk about vision boards and affirmations and new age stuff, you go to church, you go to temple, and your prayer, it all fits the same. It's science as much as anything else. It's however you dress it. And I just show people how to be really good at this, because take our power back. We are
Mhm.
these amazing beings. We we are divine beings. I believe whatever your idea of divine is, and we have free will. That free will thing is our, like, get out of jail free card, and to create the life you want. And people so often give it away. They give away their power. So figure out who or what you gave it away to and take it back. Whether it's fear or other people or limiting belief systems. So that's what I do. Whether
Wow.
we're sitting here talking to your dead dad, or, you know,
Mm.
whatever else.
I have so many questions,
Go
but
for it.
We'll
I
only a
want to
certain
start.
amount of time, Karen.
I know, but I kind of want to start at the beginning. I just need to know. You said you had these powers since you were 7 or 8. What was that like for a kid that young to be in touch with dead people? Was it scary? Did you feel safe? Was it exciting? How did they come to you? So many questions.
I just thought everybody could. And no, it started at 4
Oh
probably when
gosh.
you could talk. The fish I do seances started at 7 or 8 in my little suburban house.
Oh.
4 or 5, I just knew that those so-called imaginary friends little kids have were
Mhm.
not all imaginary. I could get real information, what's gonna happen tomorrow, what Uncle Bob's middle name really was that I would never stuff like that. And like I said, most spirits, and I think kids do. It's just in our modern society, our Western society, our non-mystical society, we
Mhm.
send everything into logic, into left brain. Oh, that's your imaginary friends. We've even take the magic and mysticism even out of religion and stuff. It's like, and we need it. We need it.
Yeah,
Take art out of
absolutely.
schools, their math scores go down.
Yep.
So I just thought everybody could talk to them, and I still think kids can until it gets taught out, and it just didn't get taught out of me. And
Oh.
even on the witchy side of things, I would be in my little suburban backyard making these weird concoctions of rosemary and mint and mixing them up and stuffing them in my mom's wallet, knowing that would bring her more money. She didn't quite get it all the time. Like, what are you doing? Why are you putting all these plants into it's like, no, it's money. No, it's not money. Yes, it is money. This will give you money. And I just knew it. And then years later, you study herbs and magic and apothecary and all. It's like, yeah, I was right. It just
Mm,
knew it. We
Wow.
know things. We just forget
right.
and
Yeah.
we don't tap into it. Whether you want to call it instinct or intuition, like animals have it, humans have it too. We just forget.
And was your family supportive? Did they think you were kind of crazy? Did they have it in them as well? How was that dynamic?
Yeah, always supportive. My mom was always like, "Oh yeah, grandma did that too." Grandma always would know when somebody's going to die because her mother would come down at the end of the bed. So that was good. And I think also what was kind of lucky about me is that I was not it was never evil or bad. I wasn't
Mhm.
raised with some kind of religion that told me that was bad because you talk to dead people. My mom would have been a good old Southern Protestant of whatever. My dad, father came over from Turkey, would have been a nice Sephardic Jew. But my grandfather was this very famous psychoanalyst, philosopher, atheist, practically evangelical atheist, thinking anything, religion or spirituality was a weakness and would not have any of it in our family. So we would I drive by a church or a temple or a mosque or a park, and I'd see the energy and I'd see the energy people going in and out, and I wanted to go in and I wanted to go in, but it's like that God word's a dirty word. I don't say that. So I think I was 13 years old, and there was this really cute Christian rock band playing at my friend's local church, and I just wanted to go see the really cute Christian rock band, and I was so scared to ask my mom if I could go to church. I mean, I might have felt safer. Can I go to a rave? Can I go to what some weird thing? Yeah, it's like, can I? And then my mom goes, "You could do whatever you want. You could do anything." And I'm like, "Ah." So I became a seeker. I started going, I went to church. Okay, I like this. I don't like. I went to temple. I went to this. Don't like. Went to I went to Buddhism, Tibetan Buddhism, this, that, new, and then the New Age thing. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Shirley MacLaine and all that. And then it's like, oh, but that's a little squeaky key. And that's a little pastel-y for me. I like a little. I'm an earthy girl. And then I discovered like a pagan path. It's just been this little led by spirit all the way along.
Hmm. Gosh, so many questions, so many questions.
Mm.
But before we get too far out of it, you just mentioned stuffing all those herbs and things in your mom's purse. Do you feel it's the actual material that's the magic, or is it the intention behind the material that makes it happen? Because we've heard both sides of that equation.
Yes, and yes, it
Yes and
is
yes.
both.
You know what? I knew you were going to say that. I
And
knew it.
yeah, and aspirin is going to work whether you believe in it or not. And herbs, why does people think it's so weird, or oils or scents? This is what we make medicine out of. So why mugwort is an enhancer, rosemary is protective, all these things. I don't know why even people think that's odd, because it's what we make medicine, it's what we make electronics, everything out of. Yes, the intent, we have to have intent. If you were going to go deep and you're going to create something, you do, but it's going to work no matter what. It'll just work even better if you know what you're doing, because it fits into that mind body spirit, or creation working dispatch, and so yeah, both, completely both.
Yeah. No, I understand. You're talking to someone that has a crystal in his hand as he does every show. So, oh, matching.
Yeah,
So I totally understand it, but to me, it's more of a tool, right, to help me
it's
focus
a
my
tool.
attention and things like that. But
Mhm.
Yeah, And we don't need any tools, but they're nice to have. You don't need a dishwasher, but if you just served a 5-course dinner to 20 people, it's nice to have one. I do believe we have everything. The receiving hand, the giving hand, we have our breath, which is our pneuma, it's our life force. We have the moisture in our moisture is our free will. That's why some cultures spit like, pretty baby. You don't have to spit, but we have free will, we have life force, we have breath, we have air, we have sight, we have it all. So if we have nothing, we could still do magic. Again, but if we have tools, it's nice.
Absolutely. So what is it like catering to the Hollywood crowd as a witch or as a psychic medium?
It's great. I mean, it's again, people are people are people,
Mhm.
but people who get to a certain level of success, there's something that got them there. Yes, good looks matter. Yes, talent matters because not having the talent, you won't stay or whatever. But
Mhm.
they have this energy about them. They have this life force about them. They have to have a drive about them. You have to have a determination. I mean, most of the time, yes, somebody could be born into something. So these are high vibration life force people. And also usually to be into the creative, especially if it's Hollywood creative, there are people who really, I talk a lot, left brain, right brain, your left reasoning, rational, logical brain, got to have that to get through life.
Mhm.
But that right, creative, intuitive, spiritual, artistic side, and people who get there, they really know how to dance between the two without us shutting each other down. Regular people have an intuitive thought, but oh, that can't be true. They're shut each other down. They know how to dance between it. So it's nice working with that. Plus, it's nice. I mean, funniest thing, like, I house clearing at the little, the little track house down the street is fun. When you're house clearing at the Aaron Spelling Mansion, it's like wild. This house has got 912 rooms. Or you're clearing, it's like, wow, this is the biggest thing I've ever seen. Or you're having to clear out the Phil Spector castle. It's like, ooh, you gotta go dark. This needs clearing. Stuff like,
Wow.
that. So it's all great, but other than that, they're these beautiful people. They have the exact same fears and doubts and insecurities and pride and desires. It's just they get dressed up a little, literally, like fancy
Quite
car
literally,
or
yeah.
Yeah.
whatever.
And
Yeah,
walk down red carpets. That's pretty cool.
yeah,
Now, Patty, you were voted number one psychic medium, trance medium, tarot reader, witch, magical practitioner, whatever in the world
yeah,
in
crazy, huh?
Wow.
a competition by Times Square Press. How was it that you got voted number one?
I have no idea. No, it was a vote. It was an international vote. It was basically like a people's choice. How even the Times Square Press thing happened is like years and years and years ago. Somebody called me up, and it was some magazine and done by Times Square Press, and they said, "We are interviewing the 10, top psychic mediums in the, I don't know, nation and the world." I'm like, "Great. Why are you calling me?" Even at that time, I hadn't been doing that much TV stuff because I used to
Mhm.
keep that very separate until the big economic crash. But I'm like, they go, "No, we don't mean the richest and we don't mean the most famous. We mean the ones with the reputation and for the best and whatever." Okay. And the guy who did that, who was the publisher and editor of the magazine, he kind of fell in love with these 10 people that he interviewed. And at that time he said, you guys need a professional organization for like what? He goes, plumbers have them, doctors have them, lawyers have them, because it's true. There is not a worse profession or more shysters or more fakes or more
Mhm.
everything you want to do than this profession. Not that many neurosurgeons are, fake their thing. So he goes, if anybody needs a legitimacy, you guys do. So he started the American Federation of Certified Psychics and Mediums, where then people would start applying from all over the world, and you had to be tested. Oh, did you have to be tested? If you say you're a crystal person, you better know everything about crystals. If you say you're an astrologer, you know everything. If you say you're a psychic, you are tested and tested and tested and tested to give this legitimacy. You've never got in trouble for like upselling or telling somebody they have a demon attached or curse and all. So he started this thing, and then somewhere along the line, he said, "Well, if all the best of the best are trying to do this, there should be a contest." And there it came. I don't know.
Wow.
So I don't. That's all I know.
That's
Cool though.
fantastic. Very
Yeah.
cool. So, of all of these different modalities that you practice, which one do you prefer? Which one are you the best at or what works best for you?
Oh, I think I I think what I'm best at, again, I think I'm probably the what I'm not good at is not because I'm not good, is that my
Mhm.
witch side trumps my psychic side. I'm a dang good medium. I'm gonna be able to talk to most everybody. I'm a dang good psychic, but that free will thing takes over me. So I'm not if I don't want to take somebody else's power away because nothing's written in stone. There's that. It's like I'm not going to go. You're going to get hit by a bus on Tuesday because I'm seeing it. Because if I said that, that person's gonna we live into that. They're gonna go out and get hit by a bus. I'm gonna go
Mhm.
be really careful on Tuesday. You don't want to cross, you don't want to do this. You want to do this. Stay home. Do whatever. Don't cross any streets. So they don't do that. So if people want prediction psychic, like somebody when I was a little kid, and this is probably partly why I didn't even ask for a reading. See, I don't think you read anybody without asking, without permission. But somebody grabbed my hand. My mom was singing at a old folks home and said, "You're going to have 3 husbands. You're going to have fertility problems. You're going to have, oh, baby, oh, but they're dead babies." All of a sudden, I hit 16. There's these fertility problems. Oh, if you got pregnant, you'd have to take the fertility drug. Oh, but your uterus can't carry them. Oh, there's dead babies. I'm living into all this. She should never have said. And yes, I am on my third husband. Third time's a charm. But it's like, it should be how I would work with somebody is saying, okay, you could have 3 husbands. And the reason that the first 2 you married wrong is because this isn't right. You're marrying your daddy, or you don't have enough of sense of who you are. So give the sense of who you are, and you don't have to have 3. You don't have to do
Mhm.
this. So I would say if somebody's looking for a fortune teller, I'm not good at that because I'm not going to give you my power. Even if I see on Tuesday you're going to get hit by a bus, I'm going to say, let's not get hit by a bus on Tuesday because we are powerful beings. What
I
I
like that.
really like I like doing something different every day where I am clearing your house, where I'm working one-on-one with clients. I like to see a light bulb. I like teaching. So whether I'm on Bad Girls Club teaching the little girl, fighty girls on the goofy TV show how to not beat each other up, going, okay, let's make this column this, and this is your power. Light bulbs. That's why my group keeps getting younger and younger. I started with the 40 something Zacks, and then the 20 something TFILs, and then I started Awesomeness, the teen set. Now I've got all these like 13 and 14-year-old YouTubers. It's like, let's go. I'm waiting for my kindergartner show. And that's why I started the school. It's about letting people go, oh, wow, I can create the life I want. I don't have to have physical illness. I don't have to have money issues. I don't have to feel lonely or lack of love. I don't think any of us do. Yes, there is some fate. Yes, there is some destiny. We can't control everything, where we're born, this or that, but we completely control what we do with it. And that's the everything. That's the
Mhm.
everything. If I didn't believe in all this, I would have been dead years ago. Years ago, I was told because of those weird female problems, by the time I was 30, they said, if you make it to 50, which you probably won't make it to 50, you'll be in a wheelchair because you have a tumor in your head, fractures. And I just kind of went, no, no, I'm not going to buy this prognosis. I'll do the right things. I'll take the medicine. I'll work out, exercise. So at 50, instead of being dead or in a wheelchair, I hadn't been sick in 20 years. And I'm like, screw this. How powerful are we? I'm going to try out for, I'm a Hollywood girl. I'm going to try out for Wipeout, the world's hardest obstacle course. So I beat 100,000 people, not the most physical one of there, and
Wow.
I got on Wipeout and using magic, spell working, good magic. You don't have to do naked magic. You don't have to go,
Mhm.
I hope that person sprains their ankle. I go, you do good, and you do good, and you do good. And what you put out, you get back, and then shines out. And then then I'm doing the most painful, hard, scary thing I've ever done. But it's empowering. And then
Mhm.
again, same thing. And then I'm like, okay, wow, that's fun. What else can I not do? Show people that the power we have, whether you want to call it a spell worker. Okay, they won't let me in the kitchen. I can't cook. I got kicked out of home. I'm going to cook for Gordon Ramsay. Next thing I know, I beat another 100,000 people, and I'm on MasterChef 3, cooking for Gordon Ramsay and Joe Bastianich and Graham. Didn't last long because I really don't know what boiled water means, but I get there with positive magic. The same thing. And then I'm going, oh my God, we are so powerful. And then not because I could do it, it's just everybody needs a hobby. And then I'm like, okay, what am I really not right for besides Wipeout and besides MasterChef? America's Got Talent. I have no talent. I'm a dancer, but not that good a dancer. I can't,
And yet you danced with Gregory Hines, right?
yes, I did. I'm a good tapper.
Ah.
But next thing I know, I am rolling around on the floor with Howie Mandel at the Dolby Theater on America's Got Talent. And it wasn't hard. And I am no more talented. I am no more gifted. I really picked things I was bad at to see what we can do.
Wow.
That's what I like best, showing people how powerful they are.
That's fantastic.
Whether it's on a TV show, a cool TV show, a silly TV show, whether I'm Zoom teaching my students in school or I'm with a bunch of, preteen kids on YouTube. That's what I like best.
Now you
And
mentioned,
talking to your deceased loved one. So yeah, it's okay. Granny says she was glad you weren't there when she died. She didn't want you there. She waited until, people to get so confused.
so that earlier you mentioned something about the fact that sometimes people don't allow things to come into their lives. You're talking about doing all these things, and you had them happen because of the magic that that create the intentions. I'm a student of the law of attraction in a big way, and I'm trying to attract certain things to me and all that kind of stuff. But it's taking a long time for things to manifest, right? And all the
Okay.
books are saying, right? I'm reading all the Abraham Hicks books and all that stuff, and they're all saying that maybe I'm just not allowing them to come to me. So how does someone let go of the need or the non allowing it to come? Because darn it, I
The,
want it.
the word you said is trying.
Got it. So you
Trying.
just have to know.
Trying. If trying is a positive word for you, but it isn't. Trying means it's hard. Trying can mean it's hard or it may not work. Just do. That's what allow means. Be, do, live as if, step into it. We do that with spell working too. And if don't start too big. If you have to get to that, like I'm really good with money spells. Really good.
We
So,
gotta
but
talk later.
if you go, I want to win $75 million, you have to believe that you can win $75 million, that you're worthy of $75 million, and that you can do that. If you don't, you're not going to get it because you don't really believe. You're trying to get it and you're going to struggle. Start out with $1,000. I'm going to manifest, I'm going to do a money spell that I'm going to get $1,000. It's going to come like that. Maybe next time I'm going to do 5,000, then 10,000. Stair step, just like you learn how to dance or ride a bike. So are you doing either something that breaks the laws of physics, like fly without an airplane? We'll be able to do that soon, but not yet. But, start within your belief system, because you'll never, the psychological part of it, the creation working dispatch, the mind, body, spirit, we know we will never, ever surpass our balloon belief system. Period.
Okay. So Karen, that is why we don't have 1 million downloads per episode yet so far, because I don't think that the show's good enough for it yet.
See?
Is that
And
why?
the second you believe it is good enough, then it will be good enough, and then you'll get it.
So then how do you handle a perfectionist? Because because I've been fighting with that my entire life, right? I'm a perfectionist at heart, but I'm trying to let go of it. So I'm always going to be with the shows. It could always be better. The show could always be better. So how do you fight that perfectionism inside you?
I'm not big on fighting. You just change your perspective.
Yeah.
Because fighting is good about energy into this, just like change your perspective of what perfection is. Look at things that is like art. Is there a perfect painting? Van Gogh more perfect than a whoever, like, so it's changing what is perfection, and your idea of perfection may be very imperfect, and then you might need to embrace that.
So if you're always looking for something to be perfect, you're always going to believe it's not.
Yeah, that's what I've been finding. I mean, our show is really good, right? People love it. We have a lot of fun. I'm just, I mean, that the information's not quite exactly where it needs to be, or the polish isn't quite there. It's got to be the guests aren't perfect. I mean, I'm constantly criticizing what we're doing, and when everyone around me is telling me, no, the show is really good, and I appreciate that, but I'm like, oh, that's nice. Thanks for the kind words.
Okay, but haven't you noticed that some of the biggest foibles or the goofy things are the things people like the best?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes,
So
for
there
sure.
goes your perfection out the window. If somebody,
Thank you.
if you're on like Facebook and you have your pretty picture, people will like it. Your crazy picture, people will love it. You'll get 10 times the likes.
Mhm.
Put some more importance on the humanity part, the unexpected part, the unknown part. We really don't want this perfect world. We would all look the same. We would all be the same. We would all think the same. Again, it's a perspective change. It doesn't have to mean any one thing, but just change that perfection is the unknown. Perfection is imperfection. Perfection is, because I mean, just practice that with a dumb picture and a good picture. Which one gets the likes? Go back and look at your shows where you guys had some goofy thing that happened that you got flustered or you got whatever. People love it because it shows you're human too.
Right. And I'm being an incredible hypocrite right now because my messaging to my daughter has always been the beauty is in the imperfections, right? Beauty's in the
Mhm.
flaws.
Yeah, but that's okay.
I believe that wholeheartedly when it comes to everybody else.
Of course, we're human. That's we're these humans are the most amazing beings, but we are silly creatures.
Yeah.
We are so silly.
Yeah. And I think that's what makes our show so much fun is that we don't take it seriously. We just have fun. So,
So, speaking of fun, can you share with us one of your experiences that has been super impactful? And, without sharing names or anything, but just something that has just you've seen it, the tangible, life changing moment.
Yeah, I think the craziest thing that has ever happened to me, and I can talk about this one, is and I have talked about this one, but it's crazy. It's really wild. Is I was at a house again, big in life, big in death. Like I was talking about, it's fun to work with famous or successful people because they have so much life force. When they die, they're bigger ghosts. That's why partly they want to go talk to the serial killer ghost. But I like hanging out at the Hollywood Roosevelt where they're swinging from the chandeliers because they can, or they went to the Academy Awards there. But big in life, big in death. So there was we were doing a documentary as a film, 4 cameras in my neighborhood. I live in the Hollywood Hills, right under the Hollywood sign, old 1920s movie enclave, the first one there. So there'd be a little writer's bungalow next to a movie star next to a writer's bungalow. And this house had been built by Charlie Chaplin for one of his many girlfriends, Mary Astor, a silent movie star. And it was a party house. And whenever you get drugs or alcohol involved, you can get some weird stuff in, just saying stuff. And it was a party house. And then Rolling Stones manager Stones manager moved in, and the Stones lived there or stayed there. The Mamas and Papas, Graham Parson, all these creative, chaotic people. And then they moved out. And then the person who invented the real life sex doll moved in. And he talked about the energy in this house. And then he moved out. And then my neighbor for 7 years, Marilyn Manson, moved in. And he recorded there in the basement. So the house really does attract this creative, talented, chaotic, sometimes dark, sometimes whatever people. So this house, and it looks like it was built by almost like a Masonic temple, sacred. There's literally is a compass drawn in the wood floor as you come in. This 4-level round staircase. Oh, spirits like that. This leaded glass thing, almost like, oh my God, sacred geometry everywhere. So we were doing a seance with young people. Young people have big life force. So that's why poltergeisty happens in those teen years. And this was a group of young people around it. And this one kid got disrespectful. So that's my one rule. Whatever I'm doing is like, believe, don't believe, be a little skeptical. It's okay. Try to be open, but whether you believe it or not, be respectful because it is real. And nobody likes to be disrespected, from you to anybody else, to spirits. This one kid got a little out of hand, a little more than a little out of hand. And first cool things were happening. The French doors flew open, everybody's screaming. And the producer side of me is like, wow, that's good. And I mean, I would never fake anything in my life. And then that happened again. And then the speakers, old school speakers on the floor, how big could you, they came on white noise. They sounded just like a spirit box. We look later, they weren't plugged in. That happened again. But the tension was building and I'm feeling it coming in and I'm trying to keep hold on the room, We were working with a Ouija board, which again, I've used safely since I was 7 or 8. It's just how you use it. But all of a sudden he said something really stupid, and not him, but the cameraman facing him burst into flames.
What?
What?
a V up his back, like angel wings of fire up his back. 2 cameras caught it. It was 4 cameras. 2 cameras caught it. 1 camera started filming the ceiling or the floor. You know, you're going to test the mettle of a camera person by a small room with a lot of people bursting into flames.
Yeah.
His camera, of course, is facing the opposite way, going like this. He's wondering, why is everybody screaming and pointing at him as his shirt full of burns off him like it was a synthetic. It was a cotton. It should not have burned off like that. It's like, oh, and a cool medium, which Patti becomes medic Patti, which I am. I'm EMT searcher. Like, drop and roll. I'm calling in my guardians to shut it down. Drop and roll. We're done. I don't care what we're filming. Nobody bursts into flames on my watch. This is not all right. This is really not all right. But the guy who caught on fire, who was a super skeptic, he was like, oh my God, I spontaneously combusted. I'm okay. I'm okay. I was like, you're not okay. I'm watching the bliss. You go, I'm okay. You're not okay. I have a sweater. He could take off that burned shirt. I knew the kid that caused all that was not going to be a problem. He became the choir boy in the corner. I'm not going to say another word.
Right.
Nope.
Right.
No.
So what happened to the footage though that captured this?
Some of it exists, but what happened, even crazy, I know we're on time, so I'll talk really fast. He showed me his back 3 weeks later, and where the blistering was, and it looked like he went and got a tattoo of a dragon. Open mouth, sharp teeth, winged body, into the shape of the serpent. That is the exact energy I called in to shut down the seance. I work dragon energy.
Wow.
Dragon magic, crossroads magic. I'm looking at him. I'm like, oh my God, you have a tramp stamp of a dragon on your back. That is like the coolest thing I've ever seen. And he thought so too. He actually ended up writing a horror film script about this TV psychic medium who did every TV show, me basically. I hope somebody fabulous plays me. And then a portal opens, and then it becomes a horror film, one of those scary, funny ones that I like. He wrote it with Stephen Norrington, the guy who wrote League of Extraordinary Gentlemen and the Blade series. Yeah. And so, I mean, they haven't done it yet. I hope they do it. But I did sit down with him for 5 hours. I go, you can't say that on camera. He goes, but you said it. I go, I know. Those words, those sounds do something. You don't want to be one of those cursed horror films, do you? It happens all the time. A spirit, an energy, whatever you want to call it, does not know the difference of an actor reading off a script, hey, la, ma, na, 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 versus I changed all the words so that it won't be all the actors die at 27 or anything. But that was the wildest.
Wow.
Spontaneous. I'm married to a drummer. I've seen Spinal Tap. It's like, So yeah, that was the wildest. But I've had a million of them.
Okay.
Holy cow.
So when Karen asked that question, that was not the answer I was expecting.
Nope.
I just thought the table was going to wobble around or something, but spontaneous
kids
combustion.
play.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Now, do you consider yourself a trance medium, or are you a conscious medium, or how do you?
Yeah, I consider a trance medium. I will go into trance state. There's evidential medium, which like Cindy Kaza, I love her madly. She's on Holzer Files and a lot. I work with her a lot here, and she's like details. No, you're wearing purple underwear and green socks, and your grandma said that, and I'm not that good in that, but I am a trance medium. I will let people channel through me. I will become grandma or whoever. The weirdest time, and this is one of the crazy places, the Cecil Hotel. We've all heard of the Cecil Hotel. You know, the Alyssa Lamb in the water tower, people drinking her. Richard Ramirez lived there. I've done probably more than a lot of people. I've spent 2 nights there with Ghost Adventure, Zach and the guys, 1 night there with my TFIL boys, just finished a CW show. But that you start walking half a block away from that house, the depression, you want to kill yourself, hopeless. I almost jumped out the window. I led them right. I had my choice of 700 rooms. I led them to a room where somebody jumped out. I didn't know it. And I'm opening the window and I'm wondering why Zach's yelling at me to shut the window. It's like, he never yells at me. I'm in a trance state. That place is crazy. But the one thing, and lots of crazy stuff happened with my TFIL guys, I thought I was channeling. I thought it was trance medium. And I thought I was talking because it's like a dream state. And I thought I was talking. I do rock. I'm rocking back so hard that somebody had to put their hand so I didn't like give myself a concussion. And I thought I was talking. All they heard was gibberish. And I've been working with these young guys. And Corey goes, we should play that backwards. Because I'm like, blah, 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 blah. They played it backwards and I was speaking English backwards.
Wow.
Wow.
That like I mean, I can't even do my alphabet backwards because I've got one of those minds who can't do. Like if you got pulled over for drinking, I haven't been drinking, and they say do your alphabet backwards, I'm arrested. Z X, X Y Z X Y T.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
I
I was
can't
talking
either.
backwards. They played it backwards, and then I was speaking English. That's crazy.
That
That's a
is
trance medium.
That is crazy. Yeah, that is a true trance
Wow.
medium. I've not experienced anything like that before. So I think we're gonna have to talk after this show for that.
Okay.
That sounds really super interesting. No,
Yeah.
I don't think we've even scratched the surface with you.
No.
I'm wondering if maybe in the future, when you're not so busy, you can come back again and talk some more with us, because I'm absolutely in awe and I could talk to you for weeks.
Okay. I would love to come back. You guys are great.
Oh.
You're a fabulous show. You should have 1 billion followers. Actually, you do.
Yay.
We
Created in the
do.
now.
I
Yeah.
believe it. That's
You do.
yes.
But yeah, I would love to come back. And I'm sure we did not take any of the paths you were going to take.
No, not
Okay.
even a little bit. I've got
Yeah.
I've got 12 questions lined up right here, and I think we touched
Incredible.
on 2. That's it.
Yeah.
So, but before we go, I really want to make sure we talk about your book, because Old World Magic for the Modern World. That sounds really cool. What can you
It
tell us about?
is. It is. This is because, again, I see energy and I'm elemental, and I live in LA and I don't have any time. So, how I see things, we're out of balance. We're all out of balance. It's
Mhm.
COVID, all of it. We're out of balance, and so I take all these theories of, if you put your body into the elements, air and fire and water and earth, and who you are. Your earth is who you are. Your fire, your passion is what drives you. Where we get off balance is emotions and thoughts and emotions. That's west and east. And what do we need more than anything else? Air and water. So it is great to, let's go meditate for an hour. I don't have an hour. I have 30 seconds to pull it together. I've got to walk on stage. I've got to walk. So I came up with these things. I was just channeled by spirit going, well, if you divide that mind, body, spirit, or creation working dispatch, okay, it's my emotions, that's water. I'm going to run my hands underwater for 30 seconds. Guess what? Everything goes away. Oh, well, that's my air element. I'm overthinking. Oh, wait, I'm not breathing it good. No one breathes well anymore.
Mm.
3 deep breaths, add some valves. Chatter stops, fog lifts, clarity. I need grounding. Hug a tree. If you can't hug a tree, touch anything wood. It still has the spirit of the tree. Grab a pencil. I came up with all these things. So this whole book is hacks, literal, how to keep your house clear, how to talk to the dead if you want to, how to find love, how to keep healthy, how to lose weight, from ghost sex to everything for anybody. You don't have to be a psychic or a medium or a witch. You don't have to be anything. It's little life hacks that make, carve dollar signs in your soap. Now you're taking a money bath every day, stuff like that. A little bit just salt in your toilet. All your lower chakras are open when you go to the bathroom. That's a great big old water cauldron. It's going away. It goes all the right direction.
Ah,
Release angst, release anxiety. So that's what it is.
Pat,
And so I wrote it because I got tired of saying it.
you are inspiring the psychic in me to come out, because I'm getting a feeling that book is going to be in my bookcase very near future.
Speaking of
You
the
were
house,
here,
how
I would
do
just
we get
hand
it?
you one. You can get on Amazon, you can get an ebook or audiobook or print. The ebook and audiobook is $6. The print is $12 or $13. On my website, you can get it in print, but it's easy. And some stores, but it's easier, Amazon or my website.
Okay. Well, we're going to put
Okay.
direct links to the Amazon store and to
Thank
your
you.
website and all that kind of stuff on our show notes. So if you're interested in contacting Patti or following her on social media or getting her book or anything like that, she does take clients. She
Mhm.
books people for readings and seances and all kinds of things. If you want to reach out to her, and I strongly recommend that you do, like we are going to, then please just go to skepticmetaphysician.com and go to her episode page. You'll find the direct links in the show notes. Makes it super easy for you to connect. Patti, I am so grateful we got a chance to talk today. Thank you for sharing your expertise with our audience. And I really, really look forward. I hope we get a chance to keep in contact, because you are amazing.
I am in awe. This has been
Yeah,
fantastic.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
would love to. I would love to. So thank you guys for having me on. Thank you. You guys are great hosts. Really,
Well,
you're
Thank
fun.
you.
thank you so much. Yeah. And thank you for coming along on this journey of discovery. We really love it if you do us the honor of helping us get the show into the hands of those that could really benefit from the show. If you know of anyone that you think would enjoy our conversations, please be sure to share the show with them. And if you're listening to this on the radio and miss anything, not to worry. All of our shows, including this one, can be found at skepticmetaphysician.com, where you can also watch the videos or even send us email or voicemails directly from the site. We absolutely love feedback and would appreciate hearing from you very much. Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we have. That's all for now. We'll see you on the next episode of The Skeptic Metaphysicians. Until then, take care.